Hello everyone, I'm Jim and welcome back to Sunrise Farms. In today's video, I'm just going to show you an update of where I'm at in my crop growth, how far I had to back up from some of my previous videos when you saw how unfortunately how many problems I was having, and most of them self-inflicted of course. But let me go ahead and show you the progress, and so let's get started. Here is a wide angle view of what I've got going on, how I've backed up and kind of almost started over, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, it is May 31st here in the low country of South Carolina, and well, I am way behind the curve. Probably not going to get a ton of yield out of this. I'm having some yellowing issues with my squashes, so we'll just see. All of this was done without any amendment to the soil. Obviously, that's probably a mistake. So if there's any helpful advice, go ahead and feel free to leave it in the comments below. Everything's being done on a budget. I just did yesterday, being the 30th of May, pick up a bag of 13 fertilizer, so triple 13 fertilizer, which I will be amending the transplants as I go. But here's where we're at for now. Say hello to our 4-month-old puppy, Sasha, a black lab. She's only about half the size she will be, and she rambunctious. So here are the tomatoes. I've got 5 different varieties, one of them being a cherry tomato, some beefsteak, some Maraglobe, some bush steak, and quite frankly, one I do not remember. I actually tried in fact, if you look at the bigger one there and those bigger ones there, to be honest with you, I don't recall what it was. I did a little experiment with the tomato my wife had picked up, an organic tomato, and I did a slice test. I put a slice in basically a bowl full of dirt and compost, and quite frankly watched it grow. I killed more of it because I dropped it, because there was probably 50 of these that came out of that one slice of tomato. But anywho, a whole bunch survived. I just don't remember the name of the tomato, unfortunately. And then here is my replant of corn. Do I have enough time for it to get a good stand? I'll be honest, I don't know. I've got 1 row of a hybrid sweet corn, and then and this is a double row. So there's a double row on drip tape. And then I've got 4, and you can't hardly see them, but they are starting to break ground. I've got 4 of a heirloom style sweet corn, so that's 4 double rows. So, and those rows are probably about 15, 20 foot long. Let's call it 20 foot. So I've got 4 double rows. So as you can see, I've put up some trellis netting. I'm going to put this is a row of butternut squash. I'm going to run it up that trellis. I've got a row started of eggplant, but I've got more seed starts coming up, so I can transplant them here shortly. I know eggplant will do well in my heat. Then I've got a double row on drip tape, because I have backed up and put the drip tape system in. That was one of the upgrades I went ahead and did, although it wasn't totally in the budget. I did it. So this is a row of blazed bush beans. Then this is a row of zucchini. This is I had seed started these, that's why they're in advance of the others. You can see that the leaves aren't really deep green like they should be. I just did a little side dressing of that fertilizer, hoping that it'll work in and help out in a few days. And then I seed started the rest of the beans that are coming up. And then I've got kind of some sorry cucumbers. That one that you see right there was one that I just transplanted about 2 days ago from a seed start. You can see how much healthier it looks. I've also, when I set it in the ground, I went ahead and amended the soil with some compost and peat moss mix to try to get out the yellowing and try to get these things to grow better. Down here is just 6 pickle bush cucumbers. So these are supposed to be the pickling kind. Although all my stuff is growing, it is not growing very well. Here we got just a few crookneck squash. I do happen to have one baby crookneck going there. And so far, I love putting up this trellis netting. So here, I've got a row of sunflowers. All the seedlings are popping up out of the ground. I just seeded this. I had seeded these in advance several weeks ago. That's why these are up high, but as you can see, the seeds are all germinating and popping up. So I wanted a double row of sunflower. So now that all of this is on drip tape, which I have my stops there, this is going to be a double row of Clemson spineless okra. Now here are just some peppers. Unfortunately, those look like they've been trampled down. They don't look too smooth. They're bent over and laid on the ground, so I don't think they're going to be too good. I've got several open rows that I have not planted yet, so if y'all got some good suggestions on what to plant, I've got some summer squash going in there. I've got that I will put in there. I'm going to probably try some peas. Will it all grow this late in my season? I don't know, because I'm in 8B, like I said. Here, I started planting a couple of varieties of sweet potatoes. I just put these slips in a couple of days ago. Now I put them in a couple of days ago, and then we had about 2 days of hard rain, so not really sure how much that lack of sun and hard rain has played into the yellowing of the leaves either. And then here you can see a row of potatoes. Now this is what the very first thing we planted, and of course since then I've done changed up my mind and how I was going to do this garden with my rows, my spacing, the drip tape, everything. But I was just going to let those go. And then here are some onions that I had planted. These were not from seed, they were starters. Unfortunately, I still haven't gotten out all the grass. I think the grass is choking some of them out pretty bad. And then over here, this is in one of the previous videos I showed you that I had planted watermelon and pumpkin in a couple of different experiments. Those little mounds here, they're just like 2x2 mounds, all compost, with a sunflower planted in the middle of each one of them, adding that for kind of giggles, beauty, and germination, helping out with the bees process. And then I've got this row that's got mostly watermelon in it, and then it's got 5 pumpkin in it. And as you can see, the pumpkin, they're doing great. They're already traveled away from that mound about 5-6 feet. I'm getting ready to have some blooms come up on them. So now I will ask a question. These things were all deep green, just like that. Now some of them look like this, and it didn't occur until after those 2 days of pretty solid and somewhat hard rain. And it's the leaves closest to the root. So if anybody knows what that is, I would really like to know in the comments below. And then I got a few sunflowers planted in the mix to this row right there. And then over here I have planted some, these were transplants from a while ago. In fact, I had to transplant them twice when I rearranged this garden. So they're a little peaked, and I don't know if they're going to make it or not. To be honest with you, I don't think so. At any rate, these are cantaloupe, and I'm going to plant more. I got a few more seed I planted, plus I'm going to transplant a few more. And I'm going to put a cattle panel trellis system for those. My initial question is, they're only 5 feet away from this mound of watermelon. Is that going to be a mistake? Is the 5 feet too close? We'll find out. Not too much worried about the cantaloupe themselves, because I'm going to put them up on the trellis. So like I said, we'll see how all this goes. You can already see the drastic mistakes I've made, how far I've gone backwards to go forwards again, how many crops are probably not going to give me any kind of real yield. This is unfortunately what trial and error experiment does for you when you've never planted anything in your lifetime. But at any rate, we're going to learn. I'm going to learn from y'all. You can learn mistakes from me. You can get a good chuckle out of it, and we're going to see what happens. But in the very next video, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing next, because I don't plan on stopping just because I'm making mistakes. I'm continuing, and I'm going to continue in a big way. So let me go ahead and show you what's up next. Take care and God bless you.